Hi, I'm Craig Moore, manager of Action Camera in Reno, and this is Katie Dickinson.
Hey,
So we're here today to talk about what, Katie?
we're going to talk about exposure compensation and flash.
Good. Do you want to start with the flash?
Okay, let's do that.
Alrighty. So the reason I want to start with flash is because you have this marvelous flash built into your camera today. Of course, if you have one of the professional cameras, it may not be there and you might have to buy an external flash. But most of us have a flash that we can just push a button and up it comes. And it's great to brighten the subject within an 8 to 12 foot range of distance. I have an example that we're going to show you of a couple in a winery and how the flash solves the problem of them being too dark against a bright background.
Are you going to describe this picture as we're looking at it?
Well, it was a young couple standing in a winery in Healdsburg, and they were in the shade of the tree because it was quite warm outside. And the meter in your camera looks at the whole scene when it picks the right aperture and shutter. So the meter set the exposure for the background. You can see the background is exposed properly. However, the couple are too dark. So when I turned on the flash for the second picture, the flash only illuminates the couple. It doesn't reach the background 30, 40 feet away. So you have the perfectly exposed background and now a nicely lit couple.
And now, let's talk about exposure compensation.
So when your subject isn't between 8 to 12, maybe 15 feet away if you have a larger on-camera flash, you need another trick to brighten the subject, or in some cases darken the subject in your pictures. And that trick is using the plus-minus button, which is professionally called exposure compensation. So Katie's going to show you where the exposure buttons are on a couple of typical cameras here from Nikon and Sony.
Sometimes you'll find your exposure compensation button there. Sometimes you'll find it here.
And exposure compensation has been around for a long time, and that's because the meter in your camera had to be calibrated to something, and that is calibrated to what's called a middle gray card. Every student that's ever taken a photography class has gone to their local camera store and purchased one of these cards. So if your scene is balanced at this middle gray tone, the exposure comes out great. But if you're shooting, let's say, the moon in a black sky, then if the camera tries to turn the black sky gray, your moon's going to be washed out, and you end up with a white hot dog instead of the detail and texture on the moon that you would like. And your sunsets might end up to be not quite the color you see, or maybe the color you see in other people's photographs. So using exposure compensation can help you get that picture correct. Every camera has a plus-minus button. Even my mobile phone and yours have the ability to under and overexpose at the push of a button. It's a great technique to get better pictures, to brighten your pictures or darken your pictures for a wonderful effect. And thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Did you say everything you wanted to say?
I think so.
I think so too.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, no funny business this
No
time.
funny business. Boring. You're still attached.